The 1960s, a golden era for car design. While muscle cars grabbed the headlines, the sedans of this decade had a different story to tell. Some were built in tiny numbers, some only released in certain corners of the world, and some quietly faded into obscurity. Today, we're rediscovering 8 ultra-rare sedans from the 1960s that are hidden gems in automotive history. Welcome to Forgotten Wheels. Mazda Luce 1500. In 1966, Mazda took a bold step. It wasn't another K car or a rotary experiment. It was a statement of elegance. The Mazda Luce 1500 was penned by none other than Giugiaro at Berlina, the same man behind the Lamborghini Miura and DeLorean DMC-12. It looked like something straight out of Italy, but underneath that sleek shell was a humble 1.5-liter four-cylinder. Efficient, reliable, and surprisingly smooth. Unlike its rotary siblings, the Luce was meant to be a luxury family car for the modern Japanese businessman. It offered a sophisticated interior, wood trim, a column shifter, and bench seats that felt more like a lounge than a cabin. But with limited global exposure and a production run focused on domestic markets, this gem slipped through the cracks of time. Today, spotting one on the road is like seeing a ghost from a parallel automotive universe. Beautiful, refined, and almost forgotten. BMW 3200 Super. Before the era of M badges and turbocharged inline sixes, BMW was already flirting with luxury and power. The BMW 3200 Super, a car few have even heard of, was BMW's attempt to conquer the upper echelon of post-war Europe. Built between 1961 and 1963, it carried a 3.2-liter Fiat 8 engine that was more at home in a Grand Tourer than a stately sedan. It wasn't mass-produced, it was hand-assembled, one car at a time, at BMW's Dingolfing plant. The interior was clad in fine leather and polished wood, with touches that rivaled the likes of Jaguar and Mercedes-Benz. It even had rear tail fins, not exaggerated like American cruisers, but subtly elegant. With a 0 to 60 time under 11 seconds and a top speed of nearly 110 miles per hour, the 3200 Super wasn't just luxurious, it was fast. But its price was steep, and BMW was still rebuilding its post-war identity. Fewer than 600 units were made. Today, it's a museum piece. A V8-powered whisper from an era when BMW was still deciding who it wanted to be. Enzo Typ 110. Germany's automotive underdog in the 1960s wasn't Porsche or Mercedes. It was NSU. The Type 110 was one of the brand's most advanced sedans before it vanished into Audi's shadow. Don't let its compact size fool you. The Type 110 was cleverly engineered, with a front-mounted engine, rear-wheel drive, and a lightweight unibody structure. It handled like a much smaller car, and it had a surprising amount of interior space thanks to smart packaging. With a 1.1-liter or 1.2-liter engine, it wasn't built for speed, but it was built to last, and it represented a leap in affordable German motoring. NSU also pioneered the Wankel rotary engine in its sports cars, making the Type 110 siblings technological trailblazers. But when NSU merged with Auto Union in the late 60s, the Type 110 line ended, quietly and permanently. Today, it's a rare snapshot of a company that dared to dream big with small cars. Fiat 2300 Berlina. You may know Fiat for compact runabouts like the 500 and Panda. But in the 1960s, they went upscale. The Fiat 2300 Berlina was a luxury executive sedan built for statesmen, dignitaries, and the upper class. Beneath the understated exterior beat the heart of a smooth inline-six engine, capable of cruising comfortably at Autobahn speeds. The ride was soft, the steering precise, and the interior plush. With optional leather seating and wood trim, it was a surprising step up for the brand. Fiat even offered a coupe version styled by Giugiaro, but it was the Berlina that saw action at embassies and boardrooms across Europe. It didn't shout for attention, it simply arrived and made an impression. As newer models came in, the 2300 quietly disappeared, and today it's one of the least remembered Fiat flagships ever made. Prince Gloria Super 6. Before Nissan took over, the Prince Motor Company was Japan's boldest luxury automaker, and in 1964 they released one of their finest, the Gloria Super 6. This wasn't just a family sedan, it was Japan's answer to the Mercedes 220, refined, powerful, and forward-looking. With an inline-six engine known as the G7, it had over 100 horsepower and smooth acceleration, rare for a Japanese sedan at the time. The design was upright and confident, mixing American influence with Japanese precision. Inside, it featured full instrumentation, premium upholstery, and power amenities that were unheard of in many global markets. But when Prince merged with Nissan in 1966, the Super 6 vanished as the Gloria name was absorbed. The original Prince-built Gloria models have become increasingly rare, and they represent the peak of pre-merger Japanese luxury engineering. Tatra 603. Few sedans in history are as strange, or as fascinating, as the Tatra 603. Built in Czechoslovakia behind the Iron Curtain, this rear-engine marvel looked more like a spacecraft than a car. Powered by an air-cooled V8 engine, the 603 was used exclusively by party elites, diplomats, and high-ranking officials. It was hand-built and featured a central headlamp, later 3 lamps, streamlined curves, and rear-wheel drive. Tatra's engineers prioritized aerodynamics, resulting in a sleek shape with a drag coefficient rivaling sports cars of the day. Despite its odd looks, the 603 handled well, cruised at high speeds, and was whisper quiet thanks to its unique engine layout. Westerners never had access, and few exist today outside Eastern Europe. It's not just a rare sedan, it's a Cold War artifact on wheels. Studebaker Lark Daytona. In a last-ditch effort to stay relevant, Studebaker gave the Lark a serious upgrade. The result? The 1963 Lark Daytona, a sporty, stylish, compact sedan that turned heads. It came with bucket seats, a floor shifter, bold Daytona badges, and, if you were lucky, a 289 cubic inch V8 under the hood. While muscle cars were dominating the conversation, the Daytona offered fun in a smaller package. It was aimed at young buyers, commuters, and anyone who wanted a bit of flair without the fuel bill. But Studebaker was nearing the end. Production in the US ended in 1963 and in Canada a year later. The Daytona faded with the brand, but its sporty spirit lives on in the hearts of classic car fans. It's the final performance from one of America's oldest automakers. These aren't just cars. They're time capsules. Built with purpose, pride, and personality, each of these sedans tells a story the history books often skip. So which forgotten classic would you bring back to life? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because at Forgotten Wheels, every car deserves its spotlight.